In this video we will work through step 16 and 17 of tutorial 4. In the previous video we created the geometry. Now we will move on and set up the stock to be machined and pocket one of the inside shapes. Let's get going and start at step 16. To start, I'm going to move up and select machine type, mill, and then pick default. To display the Toolpaths Manager, I'm going to select Alt-O on my keyboard, and I'm just going to move the slider bar to the left. Next, I'm going to move up and select the plus sign in front of Properties, and then move on down and select Stock Setup. For this part, we're going to be using cylindrical stock. So I'm going to turn on cylindrical, and also the axes at the center of the cylinder, that's going to be along the Z axis. Moving on down, I'm going to switch the display on and also put a check against fit screen. Moving over now, for the height of the material, I'm going to input 0.25, and for the diameter 6 inches. Over in the stock origin, I'm just going to change the origin in Z to -0.25. Everything is set correctly here. Let's move over now to the tool settings page. As you can see, feed calculation is going to be taken from the tool. Over to the right in toolpath configuration, I'm going to switch on assign tool numbers sequentially and also warn of duplicate tool numbers. Moving on down into advanced options, I'm going to select override defaults with modal values and also check clearance, retract and feed plane. Moving over to the right for the sequence start, I'm going to set that at 1 and move up in increments of 1. For the material, I'm going to move in and hit select. I'm going to go down to source, go into library and pick aluminum inch 6061. Pick OK. Everything looks good here now, so I'm going to pick OK, and let's move on up and select the toolbar icon for isometric view. And there you can see the red dashed lines represent our stock. Let's get a top view back. Let's move on now to step 17. We're going to pocket one of the shapes. So toolpaths, and then next pocket toolpath. Our first prompt, select pocket chain. I'm going to move on down and select this line in this top right hand pocket. As you can see, it's selected all the entities. Everything looks good. I'm going to move over to the left to the chain in dialog box and hit OK. Next we need to select a tool. I'm going to pick select library tool. I'm going to move on to the right, select filter. Over in the tool types area, I'm going to pick none to disable any previous selections, and next I'm going to move on up, pick the icon for end mill. In the tool diameter section, you can see I've got it set to equal, but for the diameter I'm going to type in 0.1875. I'm going to pick OK, and as you can see, it's filtered out a 3/16 diameter end mill. I'm going to pick OK. This is tool number 1, and I'm going to change the length offset to 1 as well. Down in the comment section, I'm going to put in a comment, machining 1 pocket. Looks great. Let's move over now to the next page. I'm going to move over to pocketing parameters. starting at the top, I'm going to turn the clearance on. I'm going to set it to 1 inch. As you can see, it's in absolute, and I'm also going to put a check mark against use clearance only at the start and end of operation. Moving on down, retract is 0.25 in absolute, that's good. Feed plane is an incremental, set at 0.1, that's fine. Top of stock is 0, and for the depth I'm going to input minus 0.125. That looks great. Let's go up now into tip comp, and I'm just going to change that to center. Let's move over now to the roughing finishing parameters page. For the cutting method, I'm going to select constant overlap spiral. I'm going to turn off the minimize tool burial, so that looks good. I have spiral inside to outside turned on, so it's going to start machining the pocket in the middle and then work out. And down at the bottom, I'm just going to disable finish and then move on down and pick OK. And as you can see, it's machined the pocket out. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching.